Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome back to my 31 Days of Horror in October. This is going to be my bonus review. Now, I usually do one of these every year, and this year I'm pleased to be able to bring this review to you, and it's going to be of Phantasm, the Fan Edition. Now, this was made for me by TheHorrorman Joe, and I did ask him if it was okay if I reviewed this because, bootlegs and all that, you're not really supposed to have bootlegs, I guess. So I did ask his permission, and he said it was okay. Now, this is not unlike the Phantasm that you know if you're a fan. And I'm not going to go into the story. I'm sure most people have seen it. If you haven't, I have reviewed this movie before, so go and check out my channel. I did this as a bonus review 2 years ago when I saw Phantasm on the big screen and was completely and utterly blown away. Now, as I said, this was made for me by Joe the Horror Man, and this is actually the Phantasm film with all of the extra parts edited in to the right places. That means all the deleted scenes, all the additional scenes that were in Part 3 and Part 4, and, to be honest, Part 2 as well. Phantasm runs about 88 minutes, if I remember correctly. I should know this by now. But Don Coscarelli's original plan for Phantasm and the original cut of the film ran about 3 hours. Chances are we will never get to see that footage. We do get to see some of it in some of his other films, which Joe has restored into this amazing, amazing Phantasm edition. But, like I said, we probably won't get to see the entire 3-hour cut. It would be nice. Being fans of the film and the franchise, I would love to see what else he put into the film. And judging by the scenes that were in Part 4 and Part 3 and Part 2, he had a pretty big vision for this one film. Who knows? Maybe if it wasn't cut down to about an hour and a half, maybe we wouldn't have gotten Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, and finally Part 5. But I would still like to see the 3-hour version. So, instead of reviewing the film, because to me it's a perfect 10 out of 10, and that's 10 out of 10 bloody skulls. But you guys probably already know that. Most people who know me know I'm a huge Phantasm fan. So I wanted to show my different copies of the franchise. So let's put this aside. And again, thank you, Joe, for making this for me. I actually watched it with him in September. I think it was September. Might have been early in September. And to be honest, it was an amazing time to watch it with him and to see all the work that he put into this. Like I said, he has the scenes from Part 4, Part 3, Part 2, and some scenes that I didn't even know existed. So he put a lot of work into this. A lot of work. And I thank him for sending me a copy of it. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Okay. The original Phantasm has been one of my favorite films for many, many years. And so, of course, I have multiple copies of the first film. My very first DVD copy, which I bought the first day it came out because I love this movie, and to finally have it on DVD was just cool. So cool. Now, granted, with the MGM copy, it does have some cropping issues, but like I said, just to have it and be able to watch it again, to me, was just amazing. And then we have the Anchor Bay Phantasm. Now, I don't have as many copies of this movie as Joe does, I'm quite jealous because he has the CED video disc that I first rented when I saw it years ago. And also the multiple VHSs, multiple DVDs. It's just, he has an amazing collection. But this is the Anchor Bay, which I prefer this one over the MGM, even though this was my first DVD of it. I thought the picture was better, and I don't know. This is the poster work that I grew up with. So yeah. And then my buddy Nick, the last shoegazer, we used to exchange packages quite a bit, and he threw this in the box, and I was over the moon. Now, I had just watched the first one, the restoration, on the Sci-Fi Channel, but getting this, a Blu-ray copy of it, to me was just amazing, and it meant a lot. It really did. It still does. All right. Coming up next is Phantasm 2. Now, I do have 2 copies of this film. I have the out-of-print Scream Factory Blu-ray, and I also have it as part of, I think it's a 4-pack of films. It has Phantasm 2, the movies, and I'm trying to think of what the other 2 films are. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. But I have that one as well. I just didn't pull it. It's on a multi-pack, and I've had it for a long time. That was the only way I had it for ages. But yeah, this is really cool. Scream Factory did a really good job with it. And then we have Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead. Now, I used to have this on videotape, of course. I had a screener copy, which I'm sure Joe would have loved, but I ended up selling it years ago. But this movie is one of my favorites in the franchise, and I think it's just an amazing film. So, yeah. Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead is an amazing film. Which brings us to Phantasm 4. This I actually scored at an FYE for like 20 bucks used back when it was so hard to find, and I was over the moon because it just was so hard to find. I did have it on VHS, but like I said, I got rid of my collection, so I was without this movie for quite some time. But yeah, Phantasm 4, one of my least favorites because of the pacing, but it's just cool. And Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies sent me this nifty lenticular case for the MGM Phantasm 4 Oblivion. So yeah, that case is really cool. This lenticular case. Which brings us to our last film, Phantasm Ravager, or Phantasm 5. And I do have the Blu-ray for this. Yeah, it really changed my opinion of this film, being able to marathon the movies all together. And it's a very sad movie. Very sad movie. But the director did a fantastic job. And I do believe that he knew the franchise well enough to put it to bed. So even though Don Coscarelli didn't direct this, it's a great film. And Joe sent me Phantasm, the Ultimate Fan Edition, Phanatic version, which is awesome. It was so cool to be able to experience it with him. And then, Anyway, I did go to Best Buy, and they had this Phantasm ball collection, the Phantasm collection, and wow, this thing is just amazing. So amazing, I don't want to take it out of the package, even though I did take the Blu-rays out, and I did marathon them. But yeah, eventually I'm going to have to put the ball together and display it. But yeah, this is just an amazing set. Yeah. And unlike Joe, who has a lot of the other sets, I didn't have that. This also comes with the X-rated cut of Phantasm 2. So yeah, really cool to have. Very cool. But the whole point of this video was for the Phantasm, the Phanatic version that Joe sent me. This is an amazing piece of work that he did. Much like the Hellraiser 2 or Hellbound Hellraiser 2 cut that we watched on Super Slash Brothers, he put a lot of work and a lot of time into this. And thank you, dude, so much for sending this to me. And watching it with you was an added bonus. So thanks again, bro. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.